Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. You can subscribe if you'd like to see more videos like this too. I'll just get that in there to start. So today we're talking about sibling rivalry, reconnecting hearts, because that's the thing, isn't it? Our children's hearts are separated, and typically that draws us in to be separated as well when we get triggered and, get in there and rant and yell and, threaten and do punishments and all that stuff. So there's a whole lot of women that are like, hey, I want to get off this merry-go-round of the children, this life theme of experiencing children, having a go at each other in whatever way they do. So firstly, let's understand what's going on so that you can see how they've come away from their heart, their true self. Is that, our children, all of us, are holding emotions inside for all sorts of things that we've swallowed down over the past. So that's something that we really have to understand, that is true for our children as well. So they're holding on to their emotional stresses, and the monkey mind, the ego self's job is to put a lid on that, is to hold that stuff down so we don't have to feel it all at once. But what it does to keep us distracted is it will hit out and do random different behaviors. So in children, it can be anything from whinging, shy, anxious, swearing, rough, all of that stuff, sneaky, all sorts of things. In adults, it looks a little bit different. We might still have our adult tantrums, but it can be all sorts of things, judging, gossiping, yelling, self-sabotage, playing the victim, like all sorts of stuff. So anything that's not desirable and how we act is from that monkey mind, right? And so our children, when they have a go at each other, you can see, okay, their monkey mind has jumped in. It's literally thrown a net over them. It's not their true self. So that's what we really need to understand and choose to want to understand, or want to choose to understand that they are going to be in their hearts. So when they're not in their hearts, it's their monkey mind. It's literally like a separate self. It's not them. And so if we come down on them, it makes it about their own story and who they really are. And that's when they take on, those stories of, I'm not very good, or I'm a really rough child, or I'm the naughty one, or whatever. And ultimately, that's not what we want our children to carry out in the long run. So we have to go, okay, when I see my children fighting, I see two monkey minds, monkey mind to monkey mind. Someone did something to attract it. Someone did something to go back at them, and it just kept on going, because once you're in your monkey mind, it's like the war energy. Someone has to drop into their heart first, into that love energy, to break it free. Someone has to pry themselves away from those monkey mind behaviors, which is why wars go on for so long. And so that's the role that I see as the mum. Yes, the dads, but it's us going first, mostly as the mums, to step in that heart space. So we're coming in our heart, even though there's two monkey minds going on, and giving them that chance and that energy to come back to their hearts and insisting on it, right? So I see a lot of mums that are saying, oh, my children are fighting, my children are fighting. But I question, are you insisting that this is not what I want to see in my reality? Because we all are creating it from inside, right? So what you believe to be true is going to keep getting created. So if you go out there believing my children always fight, then they always will. So firstly, to come back to, this is not what I want. This is not how I see, my family playing out. I understand the more they swallow down anger from each other, the more it builds resentment, the more likely there is to be separation at some point down the track, or less connection. There's a bit of an energetic charge shield in between them. They're not as connected as that lovely heart-to-heart relationship that everyone wants. So that's the bit to come back to go, okay, I really need to insist on this. And when I'm strong in my energy, which means sometimes you might even have to release tears and say, this is not what I want, guys. It's really not. And talking about it, then you set out that intention to the universe to say, change this. But when we just keep observing the same thing and seeing that I don't know, and that confusion, well, we're not sending out a bit of vision. Hey, I want this to be different. And so that's, your mama role as well, as setting a vision for what you like. I see them like this instead of that, that kind of result. I see them like this down the track as beautiful adults that really hold a great space for each other, not as adults that go, oh, he was always mean to me. Oh, he was always hitting me. She always, did whatever. And mum always stepped in for him, and dad did this. And so it's like not even about them. They're carrying the anger and resentment for how we deal with it as parents as well. So that's the big part for us to see our children. They're doing it because they have emotional stress underneath. So then you start to go, okay, bigger step backwards. What is the emotional stress underneath? And that's the stuff that is not getting looked at, because we all like to tuck that shit under the carpet and go, I don't really want to see that, even though I know they've had a tough time at school, or there was that trauma earlier on, or they don't love the way their dad treats them, or even I've gotten, you know, angry with them before, whatever. There's all sorts of stuff, right? But that's the stuff, if you're going to really pull this apart, is to say, hey, let's honor your emotions and let's honor your stresses and let's help you to deal with that in a better way, so that you are dealing with it on a deeper level. It's not going to shift the sibling rivalry overnight, but it's actually going to shift it eventually. And so, you know, that's them calling, you know, tip of the iceberg. The sibling rivalry is actually the tip of the iceberg, and will you just help me deal with my stress? So then we start to go, okay, there's all sorts of things to look at. Okay, the children, how are they playing that out? Is one the controller and one the people pleaser? And this people pleaser tiptoes around the other one, building resentment in the people pleaser. And they're asking you, can you please come and see where our fears are? Oh, you're feeling stressed because of this. And so you're trying to, you know, have the first go or tell him what to do. But you're feeling stressed that she's going to go and hit you or something. So you're giving in, but that doesn't make you feel very good either. Now, the big part is you will understand it and you will know what to say when you've looked within yourself as the mum to go, where do I have the people-pleasing ways, or where am I trying to control things out of fear? So when you've workshopped that stuff yourself with your inner work and going in and going, whoa, and looking at the fears behind it, releasing the emotions that are there so your monkey mind doesn't come in and be the people pleaser and the controller, then you easily see it in your children and you easily have much more of a heart for them, because you're like, wow, I've been through that too, and it's not that easy to let go of. I totally get it. And you're more likely to come in from that best friend energy of, wow, I see you got rough there, but I can see why you did it. And they're like, then you can hold a better space to say, but look what happened, like you really hurt him, or he's really upset you ripped his book or whatever. And you hold that space and just pause, and they go, oh yeah, and you're giving them that chance to drop into their heart. And that's where, if we come in ranting and yelling, there's no space for our children to drop into their heart. So it's a bit of trust to go, all right, I'm going to hold back the ranting and actually just talk to them from, oh look, you know, this is what's going on. And then they go, yeah, okay, fair enough, that wasn't good. And then when they're in their heart, they know what to say and do. You don't have to tell them to apologize. You don't have to make them do anything. They will come up with what they need to from their heart. And the sibling should be able to receive it. You know, sometimes they're still in the anger, and that's when you turn to them and go, right, I can see you're still angry and whatnot. You can't receive the love yet. Let's let you talk that out, work it through, talk to him, say, I felt whatever. Generally, they go in with a behavior and they don't get that chance to say, I felt this, and just be seen and heard for what went on. Typically, if the first child's actually already in their heart, they're going to go, oh wow, and I know, I'm really sorry, and can I give you a hug? Something like that. Before long, they're sorting it out. You're just the kind of guide and negotiator between it, but you're keeping the heart space there. You're insisting, we're going to sort this out, and I'm not going to get pulled into the mud. So that's the next part on the mum side, is not getting pulled into the chaos and getting triggered. But we have to understand that this is a little life theme that we work through with the sibling rivalry. It's not something that even we can jump off the merry-go-round just like that and not actually get triggered and get pulled into the chaos and wanting to yell and you and rah. That's our monkey mind saying, no, they deserve this. They do need a consequence. They do need a lecture. And I'm going to keep on going on about it. That's us leaking our energy that's underneath, our emotional stress. So we really have to take that, you know, opportunity that we're moving into the new age, self-responsibility to go, no, I will not leak it on them. But by default, when you choose that truth point, I will not leak it because that is not right, you're letting go of the monkey mind's control. And by default, its job, which is to hold on to emotions. So you're going to probably feel emotional. You might need to yell to the ceiling instead. You might need to go and have a cry. But the main bit is to start to see what I'm thinking, feeling, and believing on the inside is occurring on the outside. So if you wake up in the morning and you feel a little icky, you can be sure things like the sibling stuff will go on. And so that's when you see it and you go, holy heck, I have been feeling really emotional today. Instead of trying to take it out on them, you just go, wow, I need to quick smart start to release my own stuff. And that's the thing to master as well, to be able to do that on the run while holding heart space. It's totally possible. I've practiced it. And the more you let your own emotions go, even after the fact, you might get them to a place and then you go off and get angry or scream into the pillow and get mad, whatever. That's the big bit, is just to start to go, right, I'm owning my stuff first. And then I will see what happens with them after. As long as they're okay, you might need to split them up or whatnot. But when you've let your own charge go, you come into your heart more and you go, you know what? That consequence that I was going to give wasn't even worth it. I can see they're stressed from their week at school or whatever it is. And then you get clarity as to what to do too, to hold a better space and to talk about it and to work through that. You've got to be prepared to work through the shit, not keep sweeping it under the rug going, oh, everything's okay now, isn't it? We'll just keep moving on. Because ultimately you've gone around the merry-go-round, you've let some stuff go maybe, but then you'll come back around again. It'll go, nah, this time you got to do something else. And it will keep on going until we start to learn and master it, just to go, oh, okay, now I've offloaded so much stuff. Every time they do that, I go, oh yeah, there's my anger or frustration. Then I start to be able to come in a much better heart space and just go, I'm not even triggered. Okay, let me help you. And you get to just see it. Your emotional intuition is much better. And you go, I know what you're feeling. I know why that happened. And you can virtually say, I could see this coming because you've been seeing what's going on in the day, and dad didn't treat, one of them nicely, but this one's feeling mad because of not feeling fulfilled in life or whatever. And then, yeah, they're taking their stuff out between them. So it does come back to doing your inner work, holding that heart space and expecting that they can come into their hearts too. But then also remembering it's your energy. Do you insist this is not how we take our stuff out on each other? You're teaching them that whole idea straight up now of being self-responsible, to go, even if that kid, that sibling hit you, knocked your Lego, ripped your book, they've passed that energy onto you, and it's now your responsibility to take it out. We don't take it out in monkey mind behaviors, having a kickback, having a dig, calling them a dirty word, even down the afternoon, they're still doing something yuck. You're like, no, that's your monkey mind. Off you go and get rid of it properly. And the universe will keep prodding that child until they let their stuff out, which may be days on end till they finally kick their toe or something and then they're crying. So that's a big bit to see, is just that we are all getting prodded for our stuff that we're holding inside from the external world, what things come up. So if a sibling rivalry thing keeps coming up, it's really that chance to go, right, I've got to let go of my stuff so I don't create these patterns in my children, which is going to continue on and manifest into the future because of me not letting go of my stuff. It sounds amazing, but that's the magic in it when you get self-responsible. So I hope that's been helpful. Please do ask any questions in the comments or offer me any topics that you'd like me to talk on. I'm doing one every week, so that's why I was saying you can subscribe if you like, just to know when they're coming and to see what's up as a reminder, because this is the work that we should be doing, not loading more onto our plate with extra studies and extra, commitments and extra busyness. This is the stuff that you need the space, the time and the energy for, to go, right, I'm going to keep going away and sitting with that and going, what was that about for me, and reflecting inwards. But as you can see, I hope it is worth doing that than using this energy and this low vibe stuff going round and round, dealing with fights. That's us opting into staying in lower vibrations. And when you finally say, I don't want to stay in those vibrations, I'm just going to call it how it is. That's your monkey mind. That's your monkey mind. Let's sort this out. Let's come into our hearts. I'll offload my frustration because today I am feeling that way. Then you're moving forward and you will master the whole thing, and you'll have connected hearts so much more. I can guarantee it. Otherwise, nice to see you. Bye.